Hey there, it's Tony from Marathon Mates, and this week's episode, let's talk a little bit about the Boston Marathon, including sharing some of the live videos that our co-hosts Tim and Tara shared from their experience at the event. Are you ready to run? Let's go.
Welcome to the thrilling world of the Flying RuNR, brought to you by the Marathon Mates.
Hey there, everyone. It's Tony from Marathon Mates, and welcome to episode 43 of the Flying RuNR podcast. And with Tim and Tara currently in Vegas, the podcast once again is just a little bit of a solo episode with myself. Now, on this episode, we'll be sharing the lives that Tim and Tara did from the Boston Marathon event itself. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the marathon day itself. Now, the Boston Marathon is a magnet for many of the influencers within the running community. They attend the event most years, and often many of them will run the event in multiple years as well. So Boston is a really tough marathon on its best day. And it's especially tough for back of the packers as you're coming through close to the cutoff, you'll find that aid stations are being dismantled. There's less drinks available on the course, etc., etc. And in some cases, if you're really in trouble and really behind the cutoff, you'll find timing mats are being taken up. So it's tough. But from what I've heard this year, 2024 was a tough day for almost everyone. So the day was hotter than normal. There was a tailwind that everyone was looking forward to, but from all reports added very little to the day itself. And there was many stories of these running personalities who really struggled, who weren't necessarily expecting to struggle as much as what they did, which just goes to show that you can have a really fantastic preparation and you can sometimes struggle on race day. And I think we've all seen that with my story around the Boston Marathon. I actually prepared really quite well, did a couple of things wrong, and then struggled on game day. Boston takes no prisoners, and everyone who crosses that finish line absolutely deserves to cross that finish line. So in the coming weeks, we're going to have a Boston recap from Tim and Tara, and they'll be able to showcase their story. And of course, we also had a great friend of the podcast, Lucia Banco. She achieved her 6-star medal in Boston. So once again, I can't wait for her to share her story on the podcast. She had a good day and she's got a great story to share. So I really can't wait to hear from Lucia about her 6-star experience at Boston. So let's have a little bit of a chat around how the elites fared in Boston. So in the men's marathon, Cisse Lemma ultimately won in 2:06:17. From all reports, he was pretty much the lead or the sole lead for much of the race. So on a really tough day to be able to run in a solo aspect out the front is an absolute effort to be commended. Second was Mohammed Essa and Evan Shabet, who I would presume would have been the pre-race favourite. He's won Boston before, and he took the podium. Winning time 2:06:17. Essa was 2:06:58 and 2:07:22. So if you think back to 2023, I'm pretty convinced that Eliud Kipchoge was around those particular times, and he had an off day, or was seen to have had an off day. I think he came home sixth in 2023 in around that time frame. So just goes to show how tough it actually was out there on the course. In the women, Helena Beery, she was the pre-race favourite. 2:22 she came home in. Sharon Lakiti was second in 2:22.45, and Edna Kiplagat was third in 2:23.21. So a little bit closer there in the ladies, but still quite a tough day. In the wheelchair, in the males, Marcel Hugh continues his just domination in this particular event. He won in 1 hour 15:33, beating Daniel Romachuk by 5 minutes, by over 5 minutes. So I don't know how the others are going to compete or to catch up, but Marcel Hugh is absolutely dominating in that particular area of the race. Of the world majors. In the ladies wheelchairs, Eden Rainbow Cooper won in 1:35.11. Manuela Shah came second in 1:36.41, and Australian Madison De Rosario came third in 1:39.20. So once again, a little bit more competitive there in the ladies. Hey, just a couple of quick stats from the Boston Marathon. All up, they had 29,000 people register for the event. 26,491 showed up to start. So I find that quite bewildering, to be honest. But from what I've been told, 10% is usually a bit of a rate in some of these majors where people register and enter and don't show. 25,530 finished. So well done to all of those finishes, 96.4%. So in respect to the finishes, I'm not sure whether they're officially registered as a finish or just people that cross the finish line, because as we know, Boston has a pretty tough cutoff time of 6 hours from when the last person crosses the start line. So there was, from what I understand, quite a large amount of people who cross the line after that cutoff. So it'll be interesting if Boston includes that in their finishes or not. Just a little something around Australians. There was 279 Australians in the event who entered the event. 250 started, so 29 didn't make the trip. Of which 242 finished. So that was once again just mirroring that 96.8%, just a little bit higher than the 96.4% of all starters. So well done to the Aussies. All right, so that's enough from me. Let's hear a little bit about from Tim and Tara live in the event. There is a little bit of background noise throughout these videos and audio, whichever way you are listening, which I wasn't able to clean up greatly. So, but it does give you a really good feel for the experience of what the Boston Marathon is. So you will hear from them from the Friday night when they're live from Bullston Street, when they're just closing down the street, and you're starting to get a real sense of the celebration that the Boston Marathon is. After the 5K Invitational on the Saturday, and then you'll hear a snippet from them from Fenway Park after the marathon. So looking forward to sitting in that absolutely amazing stadium and watching a little bit of the Boston. I think it's the Red Sox that play out of that, but don't quote me. No doubt you will hear that in the live. So sit back and enjoy the feels of Boston.
We're here in Boston. We finally made it. It's 6:45 Friday night, just before the big race. We're here. They've just closed down Bullston Street. You can see just behind us is the finishing line. How good is this, Tara?
Oh, it's awesome. The atmosphere here already is amazing. It's Friday night, so places here until Monday, and this is what it's like already.
vibe, you can see it, you can feel it, you feel very much a part of it. And there's just people flocking in here now that we've closed off the finish line. And tomorrow we've got our 5K race, and so tomorrow we get to run through here as part of that 5K race. We get a bit of practice of finishing over the finishing line. So even though it runs past and through the finishing chute behind us, let's still play up and have a little bit of fun, won't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're just so cool.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll keep on broadcasting things as we come across them. But hopefully everyone's good back home. But we're having a lot of fun and we caught up with a lot of our friends already. See ya, bye. Hi everyone, we're here live at the Boston BAA 5K race that we just had this morning. Yay, we got it all done. How would you find it, guys? I got Lucia as well, if you remember from our Run Disney episode. How did you guys find it today?
It was great. You couldn't ask for better running conditions. Beautiful morning, great shakeout. For me, because I do run walk, I probably ran about 90% of that only to take selfies and to photobomb people's pictures. Loved it. Great way to start the weekend.
It was, it's amazing. It was a great atmosphere. Everyone here, the whole city has come alive for the whole marathon and for the 5K obviously, but the whole time it's just been amazing. I've stopped for the dog photos as I always do, and selfies with the chair on the course, so we've had fun.
And I did spot a few other Aussies as well.
Lots of Aussies out there, and for a 5K race you'd walk away with a lot of bling and a lot of gear. You know, there's a t-shirt, there's a whole heap of fruit and veggies and chips and dips and all sorts of things that we've been given, plus a pretty funky medal as well that is double-sided as well. So
one unicorn down, one to go.
There you go. So yeah, there you go. That's today's effort. 5Ks done and dusted. Nice cruisy opener shakeout run, and now we'll go back, rest up, and get ready for the big event on Monday.
And you enjoyed it, Lucia?
Loved it. I wasn't expecting to run as much as I did, but loved it. It's just the atmosphere. You've seen everyone out there. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
There you go.
See you all on Monday, guys.
See ya. Happy running. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Tim, it's Tara, and it's Lucia, and we're here at Fenway Park. Yay! We ran the marathon yesterday, we got our medals, and Lucia achieved a 6-star medal. Well done.
And I got a PB as well.
And
so
a PB.
Beyond ecstatic with that.
That's it. And Tara, you got yours? Yep.
But we only just got it, so...
But you got it.
Absolutely. I got really sick halfway, well, about 12 Ks, and couldn't keep any nutrition or hydration in, unfortunately. So I spent 30 Ks with no hydration and no fluids or nutrition, and was extremely sick the whole way around. Thanks to Tim, who got me around, otherwise we wouldn't have done it. We did make the cutoff so that we still got an Abbott star by 4 seconds. So if you are looking for something that is a good pacer, go see Tim. He's amazing.
Not only did we make the cutoff by 4 seconds, we were the official last place getters, Tara and I. So we've done something where we've achieved the very perfect race essentially. We paced ourselves, got in on time, and got full value for money.
And the most important thing is though is that Lucia got her 6-star.
Yep.
So when Lucia passed us, and she was going strong, I was so impressed. Like, she's just amazing, this girl.
It's amazing what I've never put so much work into a marathon prep before, and it definitely paid off. My mindset changed for this as well, because I had the goal, I was not deviating from it. People were like, oh, make sure you have a plan B, which Tara and Tim have both said before on previous podcasts, but I may have ignored them. Because I was so focused on getting under 6 hours, even if it was 5:59.59, but I came in with the PB by a minute, 1 minute and 1 second off my New York time, which ironically New York was my first major, Boston being my last. Both the first major and last major have been my best marathon times. To get it in the tough conditions, which it was yesterday, was just icing on the cake for me. So yeah, I have been bragging on about it, and these guys are probably sick of it by now. But it was a blast. The crowd support along the way everyone stays out for the last finish as well, which is absolutely amazing.
And so now it's time for us to celebrate. We were out last night celebrating as well, as you can tell from the bags under my eyes.
Some a little bit longer than others, but Team Ellis were there and represented at 1 a.m. in the morning and were the last one time out of the tour group.
But now we're off to the baseball, as you can see behind us. Going to go watch our home game for the Red Sox. So take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the time. We'll check in with you guys later on.
And go Sox!
Let's play ball!
Well, I'm hoping that you enjoyed those little snippets of Facebook Lives that Tim and Tara did from Boston. I hope it gives you a real sense of the experience that they had while they were in the city for the marathon. It really is an amazing experience to go visit Boston during marathon week. So, while Tim's away, it's my opportunity to sneak in there and do another Tony's tip. So this week, the tip is based around something that happened to me. I ran a 10K event here in Brisbane on Sunday called the Run Army, and I actually posted a personal best for the 10K in that race. And as we know, many races are crowded, especially at the start. So here are 4 tips to help you in your next race. So first up, number 1, position yourself wisely at the start. So for some, that may mean arriving early and getting up the front. For others, it may mean to make sure you're positioned somewhere around the pace that you're expecting to run. So sometimes that's a bit of a tough one. Sometimes you've got to ask people what sort of pace or time they're thinking of doing. Sometimes also, when it comes to positioning yourself, if you're a little bit slower than what people around you may be, just position yourself to the sides and don't take center stage, as I call it. Don't take the middle lane. Just be comfortable and cautious out there on the peripherals of the race. Number 2, be mindful of pace and space. And this is a real challenging one because it's about staying aware, being flexible with your pace. Avoiding sudden changes. There's always lunatics in races who go from one side to the other and are sprinting through. Avoid them, but avoid doing that yourself. Use verbal cues or hand gestures if you have to. As you know, many times in a race, I'll do a walk-run strategy. So as I'm slowing into that recovery period, I'll raise my hand and let people know that I'm heading into a walk. So just to use those verbal cues or hand gestures to indicate what it is that you're going to do. Number 3, focus on running efficient lines. Now, avoid weaving as much as possible. Crowded races will disrupt your usual rhythm, so don't expect to be able to run in the rhythm and routine that, especially early in a race, that you would in a solo long run. It is long odds on that you will not be able to do that. So navigate, look ahead, stay focused, and just ensure that you're getting the most efficient lines possible. And sometimes that means you might have to sit behind someone who's a little bit slower for a little bit longer than what you may wish to do, but it really is about being efficient with your run. And number 4, of course, is staying mentally strong and positive. Because of everything that's going on around you, sometimes we can use energy just in some frustration or some negative thoughts. So stay focused on being calm, look ahead, and stay positive. Crowded races are all part of the race day experience, and it's the reason why you're there. So let's just go through them again. Position yourself wisely at the start. Be mindful of pace and space. Focus on running efficient lines as much as possible and stay mentally strong and positive. That's Tony's tips for this week. So next week we will have Tim and Tara back and to give us their Boston recap. And seriously, I'm so looking forward to that, to hearing how they went on race day, some of the challenges, no doubt, that they were presented with. So It is going to be huge. So make sure you're tuning into that. So this wraps us up for this episode. As you know, video is available at Spotify and YouTube, and audio is available on Apple and Amazon and most other popular podcast platforms. Remember, every step forward is a victory. Lace up, hit the road, and we'll catch you on the very next episode of the Flying RuNR. Until then, happy running.